My name's Sean Lee, Unite Deputy Regional Secretary for the East Midlands region. Workers' Memorial Day is a day to both reflect and remember. And it's a day to get angry, a day to reflect and remember those that did nothing more than go to work and never return to their friends, families or loved ones. Many more are seriously injured, which leaves their own and their families' lives in ruin. So it's a time for anger and reflection. Anger that our loved ones, our colleagues, people just like us are put in this position, mainly by ignorance, negligence and profit, and reflection as to why, and to remember those that we've lost. Your union, Unite, represents workers across all sectors and will work tirelessly to protect your rights at work. The theme for Workers' Memorial Day this year is Stop the Pandemic in the Workplace. Prior to the coronavirus pandemic and during the general election, we saw constant attacks on health and safety protection. A media attack on health and safety that discredits health and safety as meaningless red tape and stands in the way of business success. The only red that I see is the blood of workers killed and injured as a result of this government's attacks and poor employers dismissing safety at work as an inconvenience and irrelevant. Every year, more people are killed at work than in wars. Most don't die of mysterious ailments or in a tragic accident. They die because an employer decided that safety was not a top priority. So going forward, we must demand strong laws that protect our workforce. But if they're not enforced, then what's the point? The HSE are under constant pressure from this government and has suffered serious reductions in staff and support, so that inspections and enforcement action against those that break the law is minimal and in some cases non-existent. A large proportion of British industry still refuses to provide realistic sick pay to help its workers pay the bills when sick or injured, leaving little choice than to return to work sick, injured and potentially a danger to others. This year, with the situation that we all find ourselves in, it's especially important for every one of us to use Workers' Memorial Day to say that enough is enough. Enough of our frontline workers in the NHS, the doctors, the nurses, carers, bus drivers and many, many more who are working around the clock to support and protect us without the protections that they should have to do their job safely because of government delays and a failing of this government in their duty of care to protect its citizens. This can be prevented by supplying the vital resources that are needed to protect its workers in all industries and sectors, and specifically at this time to our fantastic NHS that was formed by a Labour government and is there for us at this time of national crisis. For far too long, we, the British public, have accepted our lot, buried our heads in the sand and accepted that work can be dangerous. Death and injury is not an acceptable occupational hazard. We hear that less have died today. Numbers are decreasing, but one death is one too many. Every life lost is a tragic loss to a family, a circle of friends, a community or a workplace. We should be angry. We should be upset. And we should be asking this government and the people that make the rules and laws that let this happen, why? That's the reason we need strong health and safety laws, strong enforcement and strong unions. Many accidents can be prevented if care is taken and shown, if work is properly planned, if workers are given the training and awareness of the dangers and risks, if the correct protective equipment is provided. Sadly, the biggest challenge to health and safety at work has been from some employers. Not all, thankfully, there are some responsible and caring employers out there, but equally we have some very poor, uncaring and dangerous employers also. Those that do not want to invest in or train its workforce. Those that think nothing of cutting corners on safety. Those that threaten workers with the sack if they dare raise concerns about safety to themselves and others. These are the type of employers who want our workers on the lowest possible wages and to work the longest hours and sadly exploit certain groups of workers in this aim, putting their lives at risk and treating human beings like cattle. These are the employers who look on health and safety law and legislation as an inconvenience and want the so-called red tape removed because it apparently gets in the way of production and profit and stops employers employing. What absolute rubbish. Red tape equals your rights at work, your protection at work and your health and safety at work. Remember, it's your children's health in the future that is at stake and it's your health now. Nothing is as precious as a person's life. If the trade unions and the workers themselves do not fight to ensure safety at work, then nobody else will. While it is our right today that we mourn and remember our colleagues who died at work, It is absolutely imperative that we do everything to fight for the safety of our living. As groups and individuals collectively, we cannot accept that nothing can be done and that nothing will change. Demand change. Demand they support health and safety legislation that protects us and our children's futures, and demand that they increase, not decrease, our protection at work. It's about your life, your children's life, your family's future. Let's ensure that we all fight to make our workplaces safer. And remember those we have lost. We organise in their memory. You can make that difference now. We can make that difference in the future. This Workers' Memorial Day, in remembrance of those that have lost their lives at work, there is a 1-minute silence at 11 a.m. We ask that you respect and take part in this. Please stay safe and keep safe.